What's good, y'all? It's Abwon and this is Face2Face. I am in Jersey City, New Jersey. You know, I always keep it Jersey. And I'm here with another musical artist or musical guest, EBRebel.
What's up?
You're not from Jersey though, right?
I'm not. From Dallas, Texas.
There you go. Stand up, Texas. We in the house. I mean, so she came up here. She's definitely been doing her thing. So, you know, give him the floor, talk to him a little bit, let him know what it is.
Okay. I'm EBRebel. I'm a musical artist, as he stated, originally from Dallas, Texas. A little back knowledge about me, a backstory. I was actually on my way to law school, but I always wanted to pursue music, so I went that route, and I do try to keep a somewhat conscious message, so that's my thing. So I've been featured on some places that you may know. I think we're getting into that later. And yeah, just want to maybe talk about that a little bit and give you kind of what I think about things.
Okay, all right. So you got the law background, so you know the law, so you know about injustice, and that's where we're going with this topic today. Obviously, if you guys haven't been paying attention to the news, you live under a rock, or you just don't pay attention to the news, period. There's been a lot of injustices going on. I'm not really going to get into that. And it's getting to the point where a lot more people that are on bigger platforms than you and myself are talking about them. Notably, you know, athletes, rappers, professional football players now. Now these guys are kneeling for the anthem. Colin Kaepernick comes out, he's protesting, he still can't find a job. We know the reason behind that. And it's not because he's not a good quarterback. We know the reason behind that. So, you know, a lot of conservative America, Republicans, things like that, they kind of take offense to it. Donald Trump is kind of like dividing. I mean, the country's already divided at this point, but he's dividing it even more now. He wants to, now he's telling them, you know, they got to stay in the locker room, they can't kneel. How do you feel as somebody that creates music with an actual message behind it? How do you feel about, you know, athletes using their celebrity status to basically let their message be heard and take a stand?
I personally feel like that's your obligation. You've gotten to a point where you're not so much affected by, you know, the everyday harassment and injustice that the normal African American, black and brown people face. So I feel like it's your obligation. All of us are looking up to you, looking to you to say something. Not saying you have to be a role model. You don't have to be a role model or the perfect person to call out what's going on. So, you know, it just goes back to that old Nina Simone quote, you know, the job or the responsibility of an artist is to reflect the times. And I think that's very true as an athlete too. You're an entertainer. So, you know, when you have the stage, it's your job to reflect the times. And that's what we're going through right now. That's
crazy. You know, I feel like now, you know, we all know who Common is and Black Thought and Mos Def and artists like that.
Right.
Mos Def is actually one of my favorite artists, Common too. But anyway, you know, back then they had their time. Even Ice Cube, I feel like he's a pioneer in that movement as well. It's different methods, but whatever.
Right.
Back then, a lot of artists like that, you know, they had a following, but I feel like now if Common or Mos Def was popular like how they were back then, I feel like they'd be even bigger. Because now that Kendrick is out here and JCole is out here, they have messages as well, and people like gravitate towards that.
Right.
So do you think that's more of a, do you think they gravitate more to their message because of what's going on in America in terms of art imitating life and things like that? Or do you think it's because there's so much like BS going on in hip hop right now?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, true, me too.
I think to your first point about people gravitating towards it because, I guess because of what's going on in the world, I think we're all like more sensitive to it. So you pick up your phone, you're watching TV, like you're always seeing it. So I think like in the 90s when Common and Mos Def were coming up, like it was more covert.
Yeah.
So I don't think people were like really checking for them as much because they're like, well, you know, they just preaching, like we having fun out here. But like now you're faced with it. You have to face it every day. You can't run from it unless you're under a rock, like you said. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And plus, to their other point about state of hip hop right now, I think it's just like refreshing when you like see somebody like a Kendrick or a Cole Or it don't even have to be like that they make that type of music. Even somebody like Cardi B, who doesn't make that type of music necessarily, but she still does have an opinion.
True.
And pretty smart opinion about like, you know, injustice and things like that. So I think it's just like refreshing when it's not all about your chains and your whips and you know, like you can still like have some humility and like feel what other people feel. I think people really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I definitely do appreciate it because I feel like there's a lot of poison being spewed to the masses right now.
For
so,
sure.
Speaking you brought up Kendrick, and so did I.
Yeah.
You have a record out called, it's on the Stay Woke BET documentary. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Kendrick is also featured on that documentary as well.
Kendrick and Cole.
Yeah. So talk to us, you know what I'm saying? How did that come about? You know what I'm saying? Let us know what happened.
So it was crazy. So when I put that song out, it got picked up locally in Dallas. And then it got legs with Afropunk. They covered it. And so I also tweeted it to D-Ray. He's the activist.
D-Ray Davis?
D-Ray.
Oh, D-Ray, yes. He's like big on Twitter with the blue jacket.
Gotcha. Blue bubble jacket activist that, you know, got really big around that time with the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So I actually tweeted it to him and he liked it. So I think between Afropunk and that, somehow it may have gotten back to the directors of that documentary, and they just reached out to me on Facebook and were like, hey, heard your new song, I'd really like to use it for the documentary. So of course I was like, yeah, you know. At first I was like, you know, is this real? You know, after everything checked out, you know, I let them use it and got involved. And as I got more involved and saw like the final project, I'm like, wow, okay, they got Kendrick's We Gonna Be Alright. They got Cole's I can't remember the Cole song, but it's the one where he did on like one of the late night shows. It's about that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So that particular song was on there. So I'm thinking, wow, okay. And this is my first commercial track I ever put out. So I'm like, my first like commercial track I put out was alongside like two of the guys like that I look up to, like Kendrick and Cole. So that was crazy. But I mean, it's also for like a great cause. Yeah. And that's what that song was for. So the fact that they picked it up, and I literally made that song after the Mike Brown situation. So
okay, gotcha.
So it's dope that they
that record is hot. That's honestly that was the first record I heard from you. We were at a networking event, and the video came up, and it was just crazy. The visuals are crazy, and you have a message, a very strong message, but I feel like the beat and your presence on that song is very contemporary, where people who want to turn up, they can turn up to a record that actually has a message and not like, oh yeah, like I'm sipping lean and whatever. Check that video out.
Yeah, it's called Don't Care.
Don't Care.
It's on all streaming platforms. It's on YouTube. And to your point about that's my whole goal, is to try to have a message, but also have it be contemporary and, you know, kind of be what's current, because nobody was going to want to listen, you know, no disrespect, because I love boom bap, but nobody's going to listen to boom bap in 2018.
You know what I mean? know, unfortunately not.
I like to have it on more current production, like more current, like kind of flow and things like that. So, you know, the younger generation, if you're 13, 14, you know nothing about hip hop history and boom bap and all that. But you'll hear that and be like, okay, that sounds like something that's going on over here. And then it may not be until later till you listening back and like, oh wait, she talking about this. Like, okay. And that was like the whole purpose, you know what I mean? So it's dope that you said that.
So I'm gonna ask you one more question before, you know, I put you on the spotlight and basically give you the floor.
Okay.
Is there one artist that you listen? Do you have like a guilty pleasure artist? Cause I mean, I used to do music as well too, and I used to always want to make sure in the back of my mind I always wanted to have like a special message. Yeah. But there were certain artists I would listen to, and I'd be like, man, this guy, Jesus. Do you have like a guilty pleasure artist that you listen to?
Oh yeah, and I had to say, start off R.I.P. XX.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wait, is that how you pronounce it? Extension?
Extension. I just go with X because most people say X, so I go with X. But yeah, because of, first of all, he kind of had some issues in his past, so that's one reason why I was like, I don't really want to listen to
it. Yeah.
But he went though.
For real?
His music goes like, so that's my guilty pleasure. I mean, it's not as ignorant as like
some of the nonsense out there.
And like he did have talent, and that's the unfortunate part. And it looked like he was trying to change his life towards the end there.
So you think the past like caught up to him?
Yeah, I think so. Damn. So, but yeah, I would say his music, because I did feel like conflicted listening to it. His music was dope. So yeah, I would say him.
That's crazy. Well, the good thing about hip hop is I feel like there's so many genres of it. You can listen to any type of hip hop for any type of situation. Mood. Yeah, mood, exactly.
For sure.
All right, you know what I'm saying? That's EBRebel. You know, you got any shows coming up, any singles, videos, whatever. This is your time. Just talk to them.
Okay. You can go to EBRebelmusic.com. That has all shows, upcoming shows listed. Also house all the music, all the videos. My Mom Okay is my latest EP that came out May 18th. So it's on all streaming platforms. You can follow me on those. Instagram is EBRebel all together. I'm on Twitter, Facebook. I'm releasing freestyles every week. It's called Got a Minute, so it's freestyles under a minute on, popular singles. I did one for a popular Dallas song, Crook for Life. I've done some over JCole Photograph, over JCole's, I can't remember the other songs, but I do it for over a lot of different songs. It's every week. If you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you'll see them, so check them out. They're pretty dope. And yeah, just follow me. I'm gonna shoot to release another project by the end of the year, so just keep up with me. EBRebel everywhere. You can search it.
Is there any chance that you'll be like a lawyer? You could be like a celebrity, lawyer for like one of these celebrities out here?
I don't know about that. I don't necessarily have that passion.
You gave that life up?
Yeah. I
feel you.
Yeah, I think I found a balance of trying to, being able to affect change with music. So I think that's kind of where I'll stay. I'll be able to touch both loves, like, social justice along with music and kind of merge them.
Exactly, bring them together. It's all about that balance, man. Yeah. It's Abwon. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you get all the notifications. I got tons of videos coming for y'all. That's EBRebel. Make sure you check her out. I'm gonna have all the links in the description and some on the video if you haven't seen them already. And that's what it is. I mean, check me out. I got reviews, top fives, all of that. We out of here. Peace.
Texas.
Rebel. Hey, for another man, never understand. One shot from a Zimmerman, it'll make a son. Protest, cause we at the vest, but they claim it gon' loot. Hands up, don't shoot. What? But you're passing me. Ride around town in the Lexus and police pull me over, probably question it. That mean they probably figure I be peddling, and they wanna treat me like a refugee. Pick a cop really running up to me. Cop bus shots to pedestrians, and why the plot get thicker than the Maryland. I mean, I ain't even got the answer. Lost more than the gun and the cancer. They don't give a no light with a lantern. Slow dancing with the devil while they transit. I said it before, better be ready for war. Ready for war, ready to go. Hands in the air, like I just don't care. Over the fear, cause I just don't care. Middle finger in the air, cause I just don't care.